Hey everybody, and thanks for swinging by and checking out my video on my first-hand review on the childrenlearningreading.com program. First, just want to go ahead and say it's a quick, informal couple minutes of my personal experience with the program, what I got out of it, what I liked, what I didn't like. And if you're here watching this right now, you probably either just purchased or maybe on the fence about purchasing this program, and more or less just wanting to get some more information before you actually make a buying decision or not. Perfectly understandable. First, let me go ahead and apologize that you're going to probably catch a lot of ums and ands in between me talking here. Completely unscripted. Just wanted to give my 2 cents of what I got out of the program. So, let me dive in. If you're like me, you came to this program because you're looking to further your children's education, your child's education, particularly the reading section. Maybe you're wanting to get a head start. Maybe you're wanting to get them caught up. Maybe you're like me and you just feel that, school's all fine, but you really want to take a hands-on approach with their education and feel, reading with them and teaching them how to read is just as important as when they go to school. So my story is, I have a 3-year-old daughter. She does well in school. We also have other workbooks that we've purchased on Amazon, eBay. Also do the abcmouse.com. I'm not sure if anyone's ever heard of it. I believe it's fairly popular. All of those are great. She does those simultaneously with this program, but my issue with the other programs were, for the workbooks that we bought. They are very, they're great, but they're very lengthy. It's very difficult to keep my daughter engaged for more than maybe 5, 10, at most 15 minutes at a time before she's asking different questions about irrelevant things, or she's running off because she's getting distracted. What I'm finding is that after she runs off and will get distracted and she'll get that out of her system and come back, when I sit her back down, she's looking at these workbooks that she's treating it like a chore. And that's not the angle I'm really wanting to go. I'm really wanting her to be more engaged, to take the ball and run with it and really go at her own pace and want to actively move forward and progress. So with that, we tried the ABC Mouse. We saw that one on TV, figured why not give it a shot. Love that program too. Don't get me wrong, I have no negative things to say about it. The only thing that is kinda, I guess, a negative you could say is that when we first started that program, she was right there with us, doing each step at a time, each little lesson, if you will. But she is also getting to a point where we're out of the picture. It's literally her on a tablet, iPad, whatever, and she's going at her own pace. And it really took us out of the picture to where she's interacting in these games and she's having a blast and she's learning, which is ideally what you want, but it's kind of taking you as the parent out of the game. So what I'm getting at is, at the end of the night, I would be reading her stories, and that's one of my favorite times, is to sit in bed with her and read a story and, just have that one-on-one time. But I'm really wanting to angle it more to where she's actively involved and she's going along with the reading and everything as well. So it dove me back into the internet to just find any information what I can to really ramp up her reading ability, to get the ball rolling, like I said earlier, to just let her have fun with it and be more engaged and want to run and want to just do it at her own pace. So, sorry, I'm getting a little off track. So I came across the childrenlearningreading.com program. And again, if you're checking this out, you've probably seen it too. First thing you did is you checked out this, video here. It was a little lengthy, but you can't blame them because there's just a lot of information jam-packed in there. And as you scroll down, you start thinking, well, is this a possibility? Is this, you know, is this phonemic awareness and everything he's going on? Is this like a real thing? Is this? And then you see this video, which I don't even think you can hear the audio of it, but you go over the progress of his children, and you're just floored. I mean, my daughter's 3, and his daughter reading at 4 years old, my daughter's nowhere even near that, which just opened my eyes to the possibility of, well, this is definitely something I should really look into, because I really want my daughter to be at that pace. I mean, why not? What parent wouldn't? So I scrolled through everything else. It was really intriguing. It really caught my attention, and finally I was just, I took the dive. I really wanted to wrap my brain around everything, and and go with it. So I bought the program. I bought the bonuses that came with it too. I think it all was with the bonuses around $70. You might want to check the price on it. I'm not sure what it is now, but so I dove in, and let me go ahead and just kind of give you a brief. I won't go into too much detail on it, obviously, but what I got is, first you get the read me first, which is a nice, welcoming letter, kind of explaining everything about the program. And then you dive in and there's another overview video, and it's really just going into detail what it's about, what they're doing, how exactly you're going to be doing it, a brief history about phonemic awareness and their approach and everything like that. And then they leave you with if you have any questions, issues, anything comes up, you can email them. The creators are Jim and Alina Yang. You can email them for anything, and they'll go ahead and, respond to you. I've yet, after having this for about 3 months now, I've yet to need to email them. But let me digress, let me dive into this. So you start off with 2 different stages. You know, you get the first stage 1 reading, which is just over 220 pages long. So there's a lot of information here. And I'm not going to, go through it page by page, but you can see it's jam-packed with information. First night I got this program, I read it, turn around and read it, so I read it back to back, and I'm still finding myself 90 days later re-referencing the reading on this because there's just so much information. It's not that I'm ever felt left off, because the actual approach is really straightforward. I actually prefer it this way, but it's really straightforward, real simple, and yeah, it's great because then you do, after the reading, there's an overview, and then there's a lesson, a short video for each lesson that you do. And there's many lessons involved. So, for here, you do, excuse me here, yeah, the lesson videos are all right here. So you got from 1 to 7, 8 to 14, 15 to 20, 21 to 28. Now, it sounds like a lot. Trust me, once you go through them all, it's really not even close to as bad as you think it would be. It's not time consuming in the least. But what I do like about it is its approach to phonemic awareness. Honestly, I knew a little bit about, reading sight words, things such as that, but I really didn't know anything about phonemic awareness until I came across this program. Excuse me, I really had no idea what it was. I mean, I kind of assumed between my reading at home with my daughter and her at school that, we'd have everything covered. It wasn't until I came across this program that I was even introduced to this fact. So maybe you're in the same boat. Maybe you already knew and you just wanted to do some more digging. I don't know, but the approach to it it's pretty straightforward. What I like about it is when you start out, you can take these printouts of the program. Excuse me, let me wait for this to load up. But like for the first one right here, this page right here is just a giant cutout. And you can cut it out, you print it off, you cut it out, and it's just going over the A's and the B's and grouping A and B, B and A together, so that when they're reading it, oh, battery's running low. Let me go ahead and wrap this up real quick. So when you're reading it, it's you're teaching them to sound out each letter. So A for A, B for B, B for B, and it's ab, ba. And it doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal, but what you're doing is you're teaching them to associate the sounds of the word with the letter. With that being said, is I'm finding myself more engaged, and it's nice because instead of breaking it down like the workbooks that I've done with my daughter previously, instead of spending 15 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes or just until I can get her attention until she starts going off and doing something else as a 3-year-old should, you can break these these lessons down to where you're doing it maybe 2 to 3 minutes at a time. And you take that same lesson that takes 2 to 3 minutes and you do it about 5 times, maybe 7 times a day. You cut out these little letters and you just keep them around the house, in your pocket, wherever, and just you quiz them off and on. If they're sitting there playing with their toys, you just say, hey, got a second? Like, you'll put one card out that has ab, and you'll ask them to do the phonemic awareness and sound them out and then say ab. And for me, that's a really great approach. want to go ahead and continue this, let me go ahead and plug my computer back in so this doesn't die off on me. 1 second. Alright, and I'm back. Sorry about that. Again, I just had to plug in real quick, make sure my computer didn't die on me in the middle of this review. So what I was getting at is, what I like about the program is it breaks it down into small letters combined together to help your child not only just recognize the letter, but to recognize its sound. Then from there, when it gets the letters, you learn to group them together. Right, for an example, it might be a little easier to explain it this way. One of the ones that we did recently was the word bus. So as you're teaching your child, pretend the cursor is my finger, I will sit there and I will say, hey, honey, what is this? She'll be like, letter B. I'm like, yes. And I will trace it. B as in buh. And then she'll do the same. She'll go B, buh. You move on to U and you move on to yes, or S. And then from there you go buh, us. And as you swipe your finger under the word, she will do the same. And she'll be buh, us, bus, bus. And then she learns to group B, U, and S to create the word, and it eventually will click. It's the same way with cat. You know, you'll say, okay, this is letter C. C makes a K, A, and T, and you do that the whole way through, and they follow along, and it's the same thing. Eventually, you get to a point where you lay a card out that says cat, and they will go through it and go K, A, T, and then run their finger across the bottom and be cat. And that minor approach, which doesn't even seem like that big of a deal, like it should be a given in how you should, teach your kid, but this is something I've never even came across before, so this is all new to me. I guess in my uneducated opinion, I found this approach a lot better than what I was doing, because you could do 1 or 2 cards in 2 to 5 minutes, and then they can go ahead and go about their business and have fun and be a kid, and then, you catch them about an hour later and you can do it again. And it's just the repetition and the phonemic awareness of learning to sound them out and group them together that's really just forming an impact in my daughter's life. So what else do you get in the program? Okay, when I had purchased it, I purchased the bonus with it, and in my opinion, it was definitely worth it. All the printouts that come with it, like I think I'd already shown you this one. You get, what do we got, 50 pages here just for the first stage, and it's just everything you could possibly think of that you need. So you don't even have to go about trying to figure it out on your own. It's all right there. You can print them off, cut them out, whatever you need to do. And then it comes with these great stories too that I remember there was a time, not even like around 90 days ago, where after dinner we'd be lying in bed and my daughter would just be lying there and I'd be sitting right next to her on the bed and I would be reading her a story. Now it's gotten to a point, especially these stories like this, let me expand this. Bob is in the tub. Short little stories like this that I went from where I was reading to her to now, instead of sitting next to her, reading to her, and she was staring at me. We're both lying in bed. She's holding the book. I printed this off, but she's holding the book. And we're both together following it. She's running her finger across the word, going, ba, ah, b, is in the tub, And it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. As you start working at it, they progress. And it was a real eye-opener one night as she was sitting there reading this, and she's going through it. And all of a sudden I just realized I went from, in this short amount of time, I went from reading the stories and not really even following with my finger, just kind of reading it to her to, get her into the story mode and get the story over and get her to bed so I can get ready for the next day, yada, yada, yada. But now it's to a point where she's holding the book. She is literally following through with her finger, and she is actually reading, and it just dawned on me one night, like, oh, wow. In this short amount of time, I went from reading to her to now she's reading to me, and you can just see the progress in such a short amount of time. And it really doesn't even seem like you're taking that much effort at all, because you're only doing this in short 2 to 5 minute spurts. Yeah, you may do it 5 to 7 times a day, but it's in short amount of time. You don't feel you're pressuring them. You don't feel like you're taking time out of your day. You are literally in the middle of them playing, pulling out a couple of cards and quizzing them, if you would, for lack of a better term. That alone is worth this program, and I would highly encourage you, if you are on the fence about it. I mean, it's just jam-packed with information. The reading alone, like I said, is over 220 some pages. You can get so much out of this. If you're on the fence about it, the beautiful thing is that, it's not that expensive. And on top of that, there's a 60-day money-back guarantee. And if, for whatever reason, you're not interested, I'm pretty sure these two don't even want to keep your money. It's a simple email to get your money back, and you can go about your business finding something else that may work for you. In my personal opinion, I'm extremely happy. I you can't even really put it into words. It's one of those things that as you're going along and you're doing it, the moment you see it click in your child, and you can just see that, from there they're off to the races. They're actively engaged. They're excited. They want to do it. They really want to do the learning activities, and they're having a blast doing it, and they want to keep going. And it's just a breath of fresh air to see them actually excited about stuff like that, because you don't see it that often, especially when I was doing workbooks and even ABC Mouse. Yeah, they're having fun, but they're zoned out on a tablet, and there's no interaction with mom and dad. And I'm getting a little excited about this because it is just such a eye opener. You just don't see things like that very often in your child's life, and I couldn't say enough about this approach. Again, joining this program or buying the program, I had no idea what to expect. What I did know is that the approach I was taking was working, but it was more of like a classroom environment, literally sitting at the kitchen table while we're cleaning up after dinner, doing a workbook. It was great for about 5 minutes, and then after that, it was like treating it like a chore. With this, you do the little quizzes here and there, and then you do the printout books, and next thing you know, it's your kids taking the reins and they're reading, and you just get excited, and it's a beautiful thing. So with that being said, there's really not much else, you really want to go over here. From here, it's either you decide to take the dive or this isn't something you want to do. Like I said, it's completely backed up by a 60-day, 2-month guarantee. I'm 3 months in, and I'm thoroughly impressed. And we're not even done with the program. Just seeing the progress so far has helped us and given us ideas of other things we want to do. And we've bought like those little mini dry erase boards, and we do that to, just out of the blue, we'll start writing out certain words, and then she can go ahead and sound them out, and she can do it herself and start writing them out. Or the little letter magnets, and as we're preparing dinner and stuff like that, we'll go ahead and just start making random words, and she'll just go to the fridge and put her finger across the letters and, say cat, C-A-T, cat. And it's actually a fun game, and it's a great way to keep them engaged and keep them in the kitchen and keep everyone together as you're getting dinner ready. And I guess if you're still on the fence, if it's the money side of it, again, you got the guarantee. You're really not risking anything. It's definitely worth taking a look at. I've kind of gone through the whole program. I mean, not exactly the whole program. I haven't even scathed what the detail is. It'll start out, once you buy it, with about a pretty lengthy overview. Again, it's just straightforward. There's just a lot of information. And the information you're retaining isn't exactly for training your child or helping them read. It's more of an overview of exactly where they came to this phonemic awareness and everything like that. Um, yeah, after that, I couldn't say good enough things about this program. I'm really excited to keep heading on past the second stage. Really excited to watch my daughter progress and start hitting the harder books. And again, if you are on the fence about it, feel free to just check it out. Dive in, take the plunge. There's really no risk to it. I mean, if you're unhappy with it, it's just an email away to get your money back. You can't even go to the grocery store and make an easier attempt. At least there, to get a refund, you have to go to customer service and speak to somebody and wait in line. This one, just to see the simple fact of your child progressing and actually being actively engaged and having fun while they're doing it, is worth the price alone. So with that, feel free to click the link below. Leave your comments if you have any questions, comments, your personal experience, anything like that. Feel free to come to this page, check it out. if there's anything you want, leave a comment. Other than that, I'm pretty much wrapping this up. I feel like I've gone on a little too long. I guess that's one downside of it being informal and unscripted, is I'm just kind of rambling on, but you are getting a real, you know, experience testimony on the program. I I've had such a blast doing it. Half the time you just don't even really see it as teaching your kid. It really just comes across as they're playing, or as you're doing this, or as you're doing that. You grab a tiny stack of cards and you spend 2 to 5 minutes real quick going over these letters, and then you move it on into the kitchen and you take the letters on the magnets and you do that, and next thing you know, you're lying in bed right before bedtime and they're literally opening the book and reading to you, and right before your eyes. That progress happened in such a short amount of time, you can't even believe it. So I hope you got a little something out of this. Like I said, it was very informal. Just kind of wanted to give you a heads up of what all you're going to get with it. I believe I've left a few things out with the bonus, sight words, children rhymes, things like that. I mean, it's all listed in the program once you hit the buy link or whatever it is. But, feel free to just dive in, take a plunge. There's a risk-free guarantee. But if you're anything like me and you have done it and you put it to work and you really stick to it every day, you're going to see results. And when you do see results, you're just going to want to keep moving forward with it, and you're going to be more and more pleased with the progress your child takes. So again, I do want to thank you for taking a uh, stop and watching this video. I apologize if it's too many ums and ands, and like I said, this is very informal. My personal experience with it, it's about as real as you can get. And with that being said, I do want to thank you for watching, and hope you got something out of it. Thank you.